Hi everyone, it's Eve here with you again, and we're talking in this episode about nuclear safety. I invited Dominic from NuVIA to discuss with us what are the solutions on the market. Hi Dominic, how are you?
I'm doing good, so thanks for letting me speak about nuclear safety today. I'm the director of NuVIA Tech Instruments for NuVIA, so all the nuclear measurement products for the company. And today I'll be presenting a unique solution that works together with the Genetec Security Center.
Great. So first of all, tell us about the risks. What are the actual challenges we're solving?
So the nuclear risks are two kinds mainly. What we call the dirty bomb, which is a mix of standard explosive with radioactive material, and when exploding, the radioactivity is spread in a large area, causing some large effects. The other kind of threat is related directly to the radioactivity. It's called the Radiological Dispersal Device, which is intentionally made to expose members of the public to nuclear radiation. If we look at where actually radioactive materials could be found, well, it is pretty much everywhere in our industry, whether it's quality check used in level gauges, in radiography to check parts. It's also used in oil and gas, food industry, and in the medical field. So it wouldn't be hard for terrorists actually to find these sources and use them in a radioactive device such as the dirty bomb. And there are multiple studies actually that showed a little bit the impact of such a device. So in this example, it's a simulation of a dirty bomb that would explode in a city. The damages that would be created by this kind of device would exceed tens of billions of dollars. So huge impact that are not only the impact from the radioactivity itself, but also a huge psychological impact. And that's what we're combating.
So this is what actually caught my attention about your technology. Of course, first of all, I'm talking about stadiums as part of my vertical of my interest. But when you think about it, it's any crowded area. As an example, it can be the one of the corporate buildings when you have 1,000 people of throughput. When we're talking about the Canary Wharf, for example. So, but of course, stadium is seems to be one of the major risks as well. So, what is the product itself? Can you show us some examples?
Sure. So it's actually a very compact product that looks pretty much like a standard camera. But the beauty with this product is on top of the video image, you can also locate where the radioactivity is coming from. And if you see in this short video, we put a radioactive source in a suitcase. That's the red dot. So we can track where the radioactivity is coming from in real time. So when you couple this device to the security center, you've got a full solution that now is able to locate radioactivity and display this location and identification of the threat onto the security center display. So if you look at the camera, they're just, very simple features. So the optical camera for the video image and the semiconductor detector that will detect the radioactivity.
Okay, this is very interesting. So how do you actually deploy it? Give us several deployment methods, please.
So it could be deployed, for example, in a fixed position to be able to overlook a large area. Like typically a crowded area, for example, at the entrance of a stadium or at an airport. And you could detect and localize radioactivity from 10 to 50 meters if activities are high enough. And upon an event, so higher radioactivity, than normal, you would be able to set an alarm and be able to know where it's coming from. And most importantly, you'd be able to distinguish medical isotopes from other isotopes. Indeed, there are some medical procedures, so whether they're diagnostic or therapy in nuclear medicine, where people stay themselves radioactive for some time. And you don't want to trigger an alarm and respond the same way when you have these people coming in. So it's important to be able to distinguish both.
And this is quite unique about your solution, right? Because other solutions on the market don't distinguish that.
Exactly. And this is really what the pain points of current solutions and pitfalls are. Right now, when you have a long lane of people coming in a stadium, for example, and the alarm is set off, you don't know what causes the alarm to set off. You don't know who in the crowd is setting off the alarm. And you don't know whether this person is setting off the alarm because you had a therapy, nuclear medicine therapy before, or if it's a real threat. So the question is, how do you spot a nuclear threat in such a crowd? So how can you tell that this guy there with the red dot is actually carrying a dangerous material? So that's what we're solving with our solution.
So, and here comes the integration in place. Of course, the solution as a standalone is good, but when it's a part of the bigger system, when it's a part of the visibility, that's a completely different story. Do you have an example how it looks with Genetec solution?
Yes, actually I do. And so we've worked together with Genetec to be able to integrate the NuVISION into the security center. So if you look at this animation here, you see on the right-hand side the count rate going up and going above a certain threshold that we set. So now we have an alarm. It's a green dot. So green is medical. So this time we know that this person is, probably coming out from a nuclear medicine diagnostic or therapy. So the response obviously wouldn't be the same as for another type of threat. And if you see the right hand on the top curve, now the count rate is going back down, but there will be another alarm being set off right now when we exceed the red line. And this time it's being categorized as a red alert. Which means that it's identified as a plutonium source, and definitely you know that there is a threat and you need to act very quickly, and you can know exactly where the person is located.
And here's when we can actually implement the level of threats. We can do dynamic and standard operational procedures. We can use all sort of notification which security center does, also combining with the several view of the other cameras, and so on, so on, so on. And this is going to be becoming security center video, which we are not going to do. Well, great. That sounds very interesting. And what would you like to tell us about overall, maybe implementation of NuVia?
So I think this is the first time that there is an actual tool that enables to mitigate the nuclear threats, which is becoming more and more important, and people and security people are taking these risks now into account. So with this simple solution, it's a way to just have a plug-and-play device to be able to monitor these risks. And for the Genetec sales team, it's also a way of differentiating their offer because it's the only integrated offers that exist on the market. And to be able to prevent such risks from happening. So the NuVISION has been labeled by the Paris 2024 Olympic Games as an innovative technology, and hopefully it will be able to prevent any risk of such kind from happening.
Well, thank you, Dominic. It's great information. It's amazing solution. It looks like it would allow to minimize the amount of false alarms, which are the main problem when you're talking about this type of technology. And of course, we're talking about all sort of implementation. It's stadiums, it's city surveillance. It can be anywhere where you have a crowded area and there's potential risk of terrorism. So thank you very much for joining me today. I wish you happy holidays, and I will see you next year. And everyone who is listening us also happy holidays. This is the last session of the year, and I will see you in 2022.
Thanks for having me, and enjoy your break.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.